How many of you here are into gardening? Okay. I see quite a few. So I'm not into gardening, okay? But I think for those who are into gardening, if you see your garden being neglected or abandoned, and then you see weeds, you see garbage there, and you see your plants not bearing fruit, it hurts you, right? It's something in you that is very discomfortable. And it's like you want to fix it at once. I don't know if you have that kind of feeling. Do you have that kind of feeling? No? Not much? Okay. Yeah, and maybe when you're passing by a neighborhood and you see like a garden not being taken care of, there's something in you that aches. Because you see that there's a potential in that garden. Yeah, it may take time, it may take a lot of effort and energy for you to clean it up, but there's a potential for that garden to be so beautiful. For me, I went to my aunt's place in Mississauga during the summer. I would stay there when I was still a seminarian. And she's really into gardening. She's really very good. And she's, becoming elderly, and so there are things that she couldn't do anymore. So she asked for my help. So I said, "Oh, it's easy, okay? I'm going to help you." So I help her, and so she asked me to take out the weeds. Oh my goodness, it was hard. Like my back was aching when I was like pulling out all the weeds there. And then she asked me to cut the shrubs, to make it like simple, straight. And then she said she wanted to plant tulips. And I thought it's easy, right? You just put the bulb and that's it. No, it's like we have to make sure that there's a good topsoil, and then we need to measure where to plant the tulips. Like there's a distance that you need to put the tulips. You can't put it all together very close to each other. It will die. So we measured, we put that, and said, off I go. Back to the seminary, and then I went back again in May. It's a beautiful thing. Saw the tulips there, and the garden was just beautiful. But of course, it took a lot of effort and time on our part really to do it. Why am I saying this? It's because our soul is a garden, and a God is our gardener. Look at all the most beautiful gardens in the world. Nothing is compared to our soul. And, when we're not in the state of grace, when we're living in sin, it's like our garden, our soul is full of garbage, full of weeds, not bearing fruit. No plants, no fruit, whatever. And just like if you're into gardening, you can't take like a garden not being taken care of. It's also the same with God. He desires, to work in our soul, to make our soul beautiful. But He can't do it without our permission. We need to turn to Him and to ask for His help. We need to surrender. In our weakness, in our imperfections, we can't change ourselves. We need to turn to God, who alone could change us, could transform our hearts. That's why we need to turn to Him. And slowly, it will take time. And it's painful, really. Take out the weeds, take out the garbage. It takes time, and it hurts. But in time, you will see our soul will become more beautiful. That's why for us, every soul is different. Even twins, they're different. Okay? Their souls are different. We should not be comparing ourselves with others. Because if we compare ourselves to others, others will be better than us, others will be not better than us. It's not good to compare ourselves with others. We need to compare ourselves with ourselves. That's why you need to look back, 5-10 years ago, what was the progress in your character, in your virtue? You're experiencing more joy, more peace, more freedom. And when you see the progress that you've made, you want to give thanks to God. Because He is the gardener of our soul. Okay? Saint Therese said this. Saint Therese once said this she said this, that, what's this? Jesus did not ask for great achievements, only surrender and gratitude. Okay? So for those who think that they could achieve a lot of great things, the Lord is not asking for that. All He's asking is that we surrender ourselves to Him every day and let Him do His work in our life to transform us. In our first reading today, it says, Saint Paul is saying here, I am confident of this, that the one who began a good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Jesus Christ. When you go to heaven, you will see how beautiful your soul is, because you surrender every day to God and let Him, garden your soul. And sometimes sometimes we don't see the progress much. That's why we need to look closely. Ask the Lord to open your eyes to see the progress that you're making. If all that you could see are your imperfections, weaknesses, you will get discouraged. But if you see, yes, I'm still weak, but I'm better. 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I'm better. And by that, there's an encouragement to continue on, to surrender more to God. Lord, I surrender myself to you. I give you permission to work in my soul. Take out the weeds, take out the garbage, prune me so that I will bear fruit. And what's the fruit? That's the fruit of the Holy Spirit, which is in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 to 23. We need to see that in our life, the fruit of the Holy Spirit. And when people see that in our life also, it will be very attractive. Okay? So let's do these two things. Surrender our life to the Lord every day of our life. And when we see how the Lord is working in our soul and making it more beautiful as ever, and then we need to give thanks to Him.